Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
I am Queen Lee.
It's your boy DJ B-Boy Y.
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, flowradioshow.com. You know the vibes. We live and certified, man. We got a special guest in the building. Not a foreign face to the platform, to the show.
Facts.
Man,
facts.
the big homie, one and only CJ King in the building. What's good, my guy?
We here.
Yes, sir.
It's family.
I'm telling you, man.
Yes, sir.
Always good to see you, man.
Man, good to see y'all, man. Good to be here.
Yeah,
Every time he come, he talking about something different, though.
Always. It's never the same thing.
Hey, man.
It's never the same
lot
thing.
to
But that's
talk
good, though.
Yeah, it's never the same thing, man.
about to be a
You know, the
blessing.
energy always go up when you in the city, man.
Oh, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Hey,
bro.
but I'm in the city for real now. So
You here?
You back.
Yeah, we
I
here.
can't
We
believe
here.
you.
came
I think
back.
last
That
time I was here, I
crazy.
was about to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still in South Carolina, right?
Nah, I'm here.
No, you used to
No,
be.
you used to be in South
Yeah, I
Carolina.
was in South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You
a
have to
lot
come
of
back
this
to Georgia,
transpires.
bro.
Do you
since
miss South Carolina?
then. Nah, not at
Nah,
all.
this is his home.
Nah, I miss home. I missed home the whole time.
You are from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Back
unfortunate.
and forth.
That's unfortunate.
Wait, you from the east side? Where you from again?
Hold on.
Yeah, you from the east side, yeah.
Time out. You heard what Legacy said?
What?
When he said he's from here, what did you say, Legacy?
So that's unfortunate.
Disrespectful.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we don't even got to defend our city. You moved here. So,
Right.
anyway, like,
Right.
people who try to go in on us, I'm like, you moved
Hold
here.
on, guys. You got something to say? Oh.
I
just look like.
I knew he muted me.
Okay, so
I couldn't hear myself breathing, man.
It's a lot of people from here, bro.
First of all, I moved here against my will. My parents moved here, but
Bro,
I'm glad.
bro.
Greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Stayed.
Right, he ain't left
Yeah,
yet.
greatest thing that ever happened,
Okay.
brother.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I'm just playing, man. But CJ, man, you got a whole lot of dope stuff that's been popping off, man. You left. Let's get caught up real quick. You was
man.
catch us up on the South Carolina vibe. How was that for you?
Yeah, nah, South Carolina was cool, man. I really grew into I feel like I grew into a man in South Carolina. And so out there I really had to learn. I grew into a man and I grew into a better leader. So I learned how to lead people better. I moved out there to be the youth pastor at Fort City Church. And so while I was out there, I learned a lot about leading young adults, what the culture wants, what the culture needs, you know, spiritually. And so, and then I was still able to take a break from my business and really focus on just growing as a leader, a person, a husband, and friend. So it was really a learning process for me, but I learned a lot and glad to be back though. Glad
You
to be
put a
back.
pause on the business in general, like you wasn't selling nothing.
Well, I didn't put a hard stop on it, but I just cut back on sales and just let it. I slowed it down. So I didn't do a hard stop, but I slowed it down just to manage everything I had going on. Because working at the church, boy.
What you trying to say?
He about to find out.
Yeah.
He about to find out.
Boy.
Go ahead,
you
tell
better
me.
find
And
out.
Forest City, so I finally got to visit it. First of all, I was so mad because the day I went, CJ wasn't there. that day.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But it was, first of all, it was so dope in there. Like
It's a
they
vibe.
don't play about timely manner.
Nah.
They don't play about it. I love how the pastor, he don't play about being in the audience with like when worship is going on, he's down there worshiping as well. He's not in the back waiting
Yeah.
to come out until like he's down there with them worshiping. Like I love it so much. And they merch crazy.
Yeah, everything. And that's my brother, like Pastor Travis, he's the same person on stage, off stage. His wife is the same on stage, off stage. You don't get the same person. So it was a dope experience. So
a small testimony about when we went to Ford City. I was buying to buy a shirt or whatever. It was like $30, so I called it. I was like, "Can I get this shirt?" And so he sent me when I was like, "Okay, cool." And when I was about to leave out, it was all of us, Black Voices, we was there, and Pastor Travis came up and he was like, "What y'all do?" He was like, "We missionaries." Da da da. He said, "Stay right here. I'm about to give y'all $5,000." We was like, "What?"
yeah,
Like
that's how
it was just
he is.
so sporadic. Like he just like, "Stay right here. I'm about to give y'all $5,000." Came back out with the check, like nothing.
That's how he is.
Dang.
That's
That was
tough.
crazy.
That's not out of the norm. That's just
what he do.
Yeah, that's what he do.
Yeah, we gonna do.
Once we told him we was full-time missionaries and traveling, he was like,
We go to church. Look,
What do you guys do?
Hang around the merch shop.
Is he here yet?
the Jesus set me free on the back.
"You need to go on."
I'm
bro."
sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
go ahead,
I'm
go
sorry. I'm sorry. All right, man. I'm sorry.
Real quick,
Before
I
go,
just want to know, man. You say 2 years up there, right?
2 years.
So
yeah.
again, I know you said it's in the church, man. Like I say, everybody know I'm about to be in there. You gotta give me some.
Oh,
You gotta
you
give me
really
a little
think
bit.
about that.
Yeah, nah, man, I'll give you some advice people told me and what I learned as well. Don't when you're working in full-time ministry, don't leave your family behind.
Yeah.
So you don't advance spiritually and your family is lacking, right?
Yeah,
so a lot of times you can get blinded by the fact that, yo, I'm here, I'm serving, this the calling, this
It's
the
for
ministry.
God. Yeah.
Like either y'all with me or y'all not. Like you just, you running, and then you look behind your family, you 10 miles behind. You're like, dang. So that's the main thing I would say. Like, if there's some times where you got to sacrifice, things at the job to make sure the home is straight, because that's the first ministry. Take care of that first, and then make sure everything else follows behind that. So many people, you lose marriages, they lose families over this thing of like, but I work full time, I'm serving the Lord, but you ain't serving your family.
And that's a consistent revelation. Like Minister Mike has talked about that. Like all men in ministry who's like full time, I've always heard them end up saying this. But I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if it's gonna be. I was about to say, I just don't personally think that's gonna be an issue for the DJ. Now, your issue might be the more so checking in, just because you know what I know about you and your wife. But
I don't want to hear it, bro.
No, but DJ is already, bro. This is what I think,
You
right?
got all the time in the world now.
Huh?
Pick the phone up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
got all the
but this
time
is what I
in the
think,
world.
right? I think DJ,
No
and this is
excuse,
just my
bro.
honest truth opinion. I think that before you worked in full-time ministry, you were still working in full-time ministry. I still don't think DJ wasn't working in full-time ministry, even having his job.
He just don't got the 9 to 5 on the back end of it, but on the front end.
I'm gonna say this too. Don't be so pressured to show that you're bought into the vision that you overextend yourself, because the extent that you overextend yourself to, that's what they see as your standard, right?
Okay.
So that's how they expect you to show up every time, long as you're employed. And so, like, go as an authentic version of you. Hey, this is what I can do. Like let your yes be yes and your no be no. Like, if I can't do this, I can't overextend, I can't do that. But if you can, then do that. But that's one mistake I made. I went in, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go above and beyond the show and bought into the vision. And that became the expectation.
Yeah, he was singing "Made Away" mad hard. You know,
Especially coming in sitting on our influential pastor that you used to know, look up to, whatever. I mean, good thing you've been there from the start, but you still look up to your pastor. He's very influential, very impactful. So you could kind of like get sucked into that and be like, oh, I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, boundaries is the biggest thing that, like, because I took a long sabbatical from ministry for a little minute.
Yeah.
Mad long, probably like 5 months. I was just like, yo.
Half a year.
And,
No,
yeah, so I took a little minute, but I mean, one of the biggest things that I learned was like draw bright lines around your boundary points.
Yeah.
Like certain things that I used to do, burnt myself out, and nobody cared. Nobody, leg was just showing up, dude, nonstop, going crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, that's nah.
Yeah,
I got a text
Tell
today.
him about that kind of stuff. I was like, bro, let the ball fall. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can't be that person. All the
I got a
time.
text today about something. I was just like, no.
Yeah. And
Like, straight up,
it gotta be your no. It gotta be your no.
There's this philosophy. It's called the Let Them Be philosophy, right? By a lady named Mel Robbins, right? Really, if you get the chance, go listen to some of her interviews. It's called the Let Them Be philosophy. So what it is people around you, like all of us in this room, we have 20 plus years of experience and we've been okay. Like we've made it here to this point, right? Through all the disappointments, all the letdowns. And so if you feel like, man, overextending yourself and saying yes to everything and you're doing it because you feel like you're going to let someone down, man, if you can't make it to that family function, let them be disappointed. Let them be blank. Yeah. Whatever that feeling is, let them be, because they're going to be okay. If they really love you, they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So the first part is let them be blank. The second part is let me blank. Whether it's let me rest, let me focus on my family, let me da. So that first half, that let them be, that's the hardest part for a lot of people, to let people be disappointed, because they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
The rest thing for me, I think that's the biggest thing for me ever. I don't know the last time I tried to like truly set out kind of thing, because I'm, like I said, 9 to 5, and then if I'm not doing any gigs or trying to make up time for doing stuff at home, and then Sunday, and then it starts all back over. Like, I know one thing that's different for me for the church is like they take sabbaticals. Like they will shut the church down, which I've never seen. And like, hey, we're gonna have an all church Sabbath.
Cause burnout is real.
What?
Burnout is real, and you start to like resent the very thing that you feel like you were called to do from the Lord.
And they don't play. If you on sabbatical and it's still like services going, like you coming to service, but they would not let you help do nothing. Yo, what are you doing back here? Yo, get out. Get out. If y'all see him over here, make sure he don't do nothing. I'm like, dang. And I feel like I'm going to learn more about resting. Like, so I'm excited, but
I want to ask
appreciate that
CJ.
advice. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, but really write it down, DJ, because
No,
you not about to write it
and
down.
then resting too.
In notes.
That's something I struggle with for a long time, and I still struggle with it sometimes. The rest aspect, but your body already knows how to rest. Like, you just have to actually listen to it. It's like it triggers. For instance, think about anxiety, right? Anxiety is essentially an alarm telling you that something's off with your body. Right, so it's not a state of being. It's an alarm letting you know, all right, maybe your body's saying you need to slow down, you need to rest. Or think about when you get hungry, what does your stomach do? It growls. It's letting you know that something's wrong.
Yeah.
When you get sleepy, or when you're tired, you get sleepy. It's your body setting an alarm saying, hey, this is happening.
Yeah.
Anxiety is just a trigger letting you know, hey, either you need a rest, you need to take a break, you need to breathe. So instead of it being a state of being, just think of it as an alarm. So when your body is going through, whether it's anxiety, you're anxious about something, or you've been ripping and running and you know you need a rest, like, listen to those signals of your body saying, hey, slow down. Like last week, Friday, I had a lot to do and I was ripping and running. I made a U-turn, just went home. I said, you know what? I'm gonna rest today. I went home, watched Netflix, didn't do anything. Cause I knew I'm not at my best self if I'm out here extending myself beyond what my mental can handle. Cause I get stressed, then I'm frustrated, and then blase. So that's my little spill.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Bet, man. So listen, man, and God I Flex, bro. Talk to the people about that, man. That's the clothing brand that you have.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? How'd you come about that, creating that?
Yeah, and God I Flex, I started off with a clothing brand called Lord Knows. I had a single called Lord Knows, and I used to sell the shirt at all my shows. And I noticed, I'm gonna give you a short version. I noticed I was making a lot more at my shows off merch than I was my honorarium. And so
Always.
yeah. And so me being a business mind, I said, you know what? Let me lean into this merch side a little bit more. So I leaned into it and took a course learning how to market the brand. And the very first month, I remember we did almost $50,000 in sales. And
First
then
month?
yeah, first month we did almost 50,000.
Tell them how much you asked the Lord for, like, just to do the bare minimum.
Yeah, so right before that the top of that month I lost my job. But before I lost my job, I said, God, I just want to make 50,000 a year to take care of the fam. And so I had never made $50,000 in a year. And so the fact that he was able to take my prayer for what I wanted a year and sustain it and bring it in a month, like, said a lot to just what is possible, like what the possibilities are. So
So hold on, you pray in the next following month.
He made everything he wanted for a year.
In a month.
yeah, so I prayed for that, but I don't want to leave out the most essential ingredient of, the works that followed the faith.
Absolutely.
So it was works that follow. It was investments in learning how to market, how to run ads, how to do these different things that led me to be able to generate these things. And so a lot of times people try to just pray into certain situations and don't have any type of footwork to follow the prayer. And it's
right.
yo, that's not quite how that formula works. That's why you see people going to the altar for the same prayer request 50 years. And you like, when they gonna get, well, they just been praying the whole time. And God, like, I'm waiting on you to meet me halfway. I'm already here. And so
That's good.
That's good, sir.
So yeah. So to answer your question, I started with my brand, Lord Knows. I got a DM from someone who said, hey, we have the copyrights to Lord Knows, so you can't sell that anymore.
Are you
Keep in
serious?
mind, we had like 300 orders in the queue. Yeah. So
To the word Lord knows?
Lord Knows.
They had the like,
The
so it was trademark.
trademark.
Okay.
Yo.
Yeah. And so that same day, I'm like, dang, God, what do I do? I don't think you brought me this far to just have me shut it down now.
Yeah.
And so I remember I got a $1 bill from a show that I performed at. The promoter gave me a $1 bill. It was
as an honorarium.
Nah, it was
okay.
It just had. It was what's the clear joint they put over it, like
plexiglass or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So and then on it he said, "You're a blessed one," and so I was like, "Dang, blessed one." And then on the dollar said, "In God we trust." And then just for some reason, "In God I flex" just came. I said, "What's a modern way of saying in God we trust?" It's like, "In God I flex." So I said, "Let me try this shoot," and I put it out, and then I saw the sales matriculate because people just enjoyed the saying. So that's a short story of how In God I Flex came about. But yeah, God did his thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, son. You go.
So you was talking about how like you put not a hard pause, but you just like slowed down sales and stuff for about, you said 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you pick it back up, and like why did you pick it back up?
So a lot of times people see the dope shiny lights of entrepreneurship and what it looks like. I put it down because the business started struggling, and I was like, "Yo, maybe the time is up on this business. Maybe it's time to shift to something else." And so I got kind of discouraged, and I sat it down for a little bit. And then one day, this was shortly after I moved back, God was like, "Yo, it's time to pick it up again." And so I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And so I hesitated, waited a few months, and I said, let me go ahead and just like pick it up again, send out the emails, let people know we cooking again. And so I saw the momentum pick right back up where it was.
Wow.
And so seeing that, it really gave me faith to see, man, what God has put in you, like the work is not finished until he said it's done. So like whatever dream that was, whatever vision he gave you, like he gave it to you and he wants to see it to completion. So whether you see it in 5 years, 10 years, like it's going to happen how he saw it. So all you need to do is keep believing that this thing can happen and follow those steps and you will see it through. So that's why I picked it back up, because God told me to pick it back up. And yeah, and I tried picking up side jobs to work for people, and that just maybe I don't think I'm meant to work for nobody.
But how do entrepreneurs not get weary in well doing? Like even if they are doing like what you said, and they're just not seeing the most stuff happening from it or whatever. Like how do they not get weary?
Before you answer that, we're gonna run off on a break real quick.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you good. We're gonna pick back up with your question.
Good question.
I'm asking questions for me and my household.
He over here quiet.
Hey, that's about to get deep. Yeah, that's good.
Yo, we got more with CJ King when we come back, man. FlowRadioShow.com. You know the vibes. We live, we certified. We'll be right back. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man Legacy the Prince.
I am Queen Lee.
It's your boy DJ B-Boy. Why?
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, FlowRadioShow.com. You know the vibes. We live, we certified, man. We got the big homie, one and only in the building, CJ King. What's poppin', my brother?
We here.
Yes, sir. Queen Lee.
Okay, so yeah, before we went off the break, I was asking like, how do entrepreneurs who, like you were saying, like you got to put the work to the faith. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What about the ones who are doing that? How do they not get weary in well doing?
Yeah, man, it's a few points I want to say to that. The first thing is just remembering this pressure that you have is a privilege. All right, so
I like that.
I'm writing
excellence
that down. Excellence
takes pressure. It's difficult to be disciplined. It's difficult to provide excellence. But mediocrity and just sitting in the place you've been, that's smooth. That's comfortable. That's easy.
Yeah.
But if you have that pressure, that means there's an expectation for what you see in your life. Now a lot of times people struggle to keep going because they don't remember their why. Mm-hmm. All right. So do me a favor. So everyone at the table, right? Think 10 years from now. What do you see? Close your eyes. What do you see around you? What's your life look like? What's your dream life look like? All right. So what do you see, Aaliyah? What do you see?
I'm seeing a high ceiling house. I'm seeing my kids, a Christmas tree.
All right. What's some pictures of some things y'all done in picture frames? What are you seeing?
We've traveled. My kids have been out the country.
Mm-hmm.
We've done cruises and resorts with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is that's part of your why, right? This is what you're working towards. And when you think about it, like 10 years down the road, a lot can happen in 10 years.
Yeah.
A lot can happen. And so remembering that why, right? Because you're going to get weary. That's guaranteed. Like you're going to get weary. You're going to get tired. But it's the ones that keep going, keep stepping, and keep moving. And so something that I learned, that a lot of events that happen to us are actually neutral, right? Mm-hmm. It's how we it's the narrative we give to those stories that determine the outcome and the impact they have on your life.
Mm-hmm.
So our brain doesn't recognize whether this is a bad event or a good one. It's the story we tell it.
Oh my gosh.
And it believes that.
That is
right, because your
old.
brain's primary function is to keep you safe. That's its primary function. So anything that looks like or anything that you tell it was a negative thing, it's going to now avoid and find all the reasons that thing is wrong.
True,
so if you
true,
had
true.
a bad business experience, you had a bad relationship experience, now your brain is going to tell you, nah, let's not go there again.
Avoid it, yeah.
But if you feel like this is something that you're called to do, there's going to be friction there. So instead of thinking about all the things that could go wrong, you have to force your brain to see all of the things that could go right. Right.
So how do you decipher between your brain telling you something and God redirecting you?
Your brain telling you something and God redirecting you. So for me personally, it's always been a gut feeling that He's put inside of me. So sometimes I used to think God would speak to me in a loud voice. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a tug that He'll give
Intuition,
a tug to say, maybe you should do that thing. And many times the very thing we should do is on the other side of fear. It's on the other side. It's the thing you're avoiding most. Is a lot of times you think the thing you need to do. All right. So whether it's, man, I really want to write this book, I need to sit down and start with this first paragraph. Most times we're gonna find everything else to do but that. Mm-hmm. That's the thing you need to sit down to do. So instead of telling yourself, man, I'm stuck, man. I'm stuck, man. I'm in a lull. I can't figure out what to do next. No, actually, that's just a sign that you've stopped growing and you need to take that next step and just do it. Just leap.
Yeah.
And so there's this, this is the last thing I'm going to say towards that.
Do it scared.
There's this, do it scared, but there's this 10-second rule that I give myself. Anytime there's something I know I need to do, even if I wake up first thing in the morning, I give myself 10 seconds to get up and do it before all the doubts run into my head and tell me why I shouldn't do it.
Stop you from doing it.
Yep. So 10-second countdown, boom, I'm getting up and doing it. All right, when I got better at that, now it's a 5-second. If I wake up, need to read my Bible. Man, I don't really feel it 5. I'm counting down. All right, I got to get up and do it. So that's like, just do it. Dive into it. 5 seconds, do it.
All right, so I have a question. When as you're doing your business, you're not working a 9 to 5. This is straight business.
Yeah.
How was that for your family? Like the ups and downs, like your people you're depending on you. Because that was one of my biggest things. Like even before this situation, my biggest fear was one thing was I don't want to be outside of the will of God. That's the number one thing. The second thing was I got to make sure my family's straight. I got 2 kids and a wife that I got to take care of. How did you process that and how did you deal with that and how did they, on top of that, like, I guess how did you manage that home like that?
Yeah, it was one of the more difficult things I've had to do. But I tell people, like, don't be scared to go and work that 9 to 5 if you need to. Like, in the meantime, that doesn't have to be a permanent situation.
Okay.
Like, take care of your family. That's your first priority. Like, I get the dream. I get the rap dream. I get the sewing dream. I don't know. I get whatever dream you got. But take care of home first. So I've had to go pick up odds and ends. I've had to go work as a bar back. I had to go work as a server. I had to go work at Advanced Auto Parts. Like, all these different jobs that might pay $10 an hour or less, I had to do that to make sure
the light stayed on.
Make sure the light stayed on.
Yeah.
My business in 2020 did a little less than $350,000. The following year, the following year, hear this though. The following year, guess what I was doing a year later? A little over a year later. I was working for $2 an hour plus tip at a restaurant, right? Because there was lack of stewardship, there was lack of knowledge.
Okay. Okay. So you say lack of stewardship. Is it financial stewardship?
It was financial stewardship. It was a lack of character in some areas, so that wasn't stewarding, my family well, my time well. So there was lack of stewardship in multiple areas, and I think that all played a part into why God pulled back some of these blessings. And so that's really what it came down to. But when He felt like I was ready, then that door opened up again to make that happen.
I mean, it's funny that you said that because I can't lie. Like, that was something that was spoken about recently this week that it'll be unwise to, you know what I'm saying, make the necessary adjustment and steward something well, because God will put a halt and wait till you catch up.
Yeah.
And then maybe in a situation like how you were, just until you get yourself ready and move like you're supposed to, and then he'll reboot it from where he left it off and keep going. So, I mean, that's no disrespect. That's a lot of money. You know, $350,000, about that.
This was while you were working at the church?
No, this was
this before.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then
this is 2020.
And this is fresh COVID. Yeah.
You made 300 stacks during COVID?
Hold on, where my button is?
COVID was a gold rush, for digital gold rush for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So with that being said, so that, like, I guess 2021, that's when everything. What made it go? Like, what did you see where it was like not working out for you? Like, when did that shift happen again? Family's involved. You had to go get it. How did that make you feel, especially as a man?
How that made me feel? So I would say, I became very self-sufficient and started depending less on God to be my resource. So once that happened, I became very knowledgeable in my space and my industry, but I stopped just really seeking to grow spiritually, and I was just chasing the bag. I was like, oh, I got this much. Let me get a little bit more. And so as a result, I mean, I felt I was wealthy, but morally and spiritually bankrupt. And so as a result, that's where, you know, my time, instead of being spent with the business and being spent with family, was spent entertaining conversations, was spent entertaining people, was spent, you know, doing everything else outside of what I was supposed to be doing. So naturally, you know, God brings all things to light. And so because of that, you know, he had to sit me down to be like, all right, cool, let's recalibrate some of this stuff. Like, that's the beauty of the story. Like, the journey doesn't stop. There's beauty in the phrase that you're not stuck with who you are. So no matter what you are currently, who you are, and the things you struggle with, you don't have to be stuck with that version of yourself.
Right.
Like, that doesn't have, like, you have options. You can be better. You can do better. And so yeah, that's what I would say. I'll leave that with that line. Like, you don't have to be stuck with that version of yourself. Okay,
so you're rebooted basically at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we cooking now.
So full steam ahead.
Yeah, we cooking.
So what is that spiritual time look like now?
Yeah.
Especially after learning, what is that spiritual time looking like now? How much time do you take aside to give to the Lord? And you know, it may not always be specifically a specific amount of time all the time, but how much time are you spending with the Lord before his feet, and give him that time in order to continue to, you know what I'm saying, keep the business going like how you doing?
I would say it's not a allotted amount of time every day, but it is every day, and it's during the day. And I think the biggest thing that helped me now is community. And so I have a solid group of brothers who are around me. I have a solid group of sisters who are around me, who hold me accountable. I hold them accountable. We do life together. And now, you know, back when I was in that phase, I was doing it by myself. So I was just navigating all these things myself. I was never around anybody who had that type of money, who had that type of resources. And so now I'm around people who may not have that type of money, but they're spiritually wealthy. All right. Some may have that money and more. Like, some are wealthy in just how to be a great father. Like, they know how to do that, how to be a great husband. And so I've surrounded myself with people who are diverse in resources. And so that's been the greatest thing. So
has there ever been a moment where God had a plan for you and your business, but it kind of contradicted like a plan in a direction you were trying to go into? Like, how did you bend to the will of what he wanted you to do?
I would say, how did I bend to the will of what he wanted me to do? I had a choice to make. So I do believe there's a world where I could have went my own way and been successful.
Right.
But I had to make a conscious choice of, no, I'm actually choosing to go God's way and win with him and win how he wants me to win, because I've seen more joy in my family. I've seen more peace in my family. And honestly, I'll say this. sometimes he'll break you, and he breaks you in different ways. But I'll say it was after the passing of my cousin that God and I really had like a heart to heart on like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, what's the goal? Like, God, what do you want me to do? Because I feel like I'm just out here. I feel like you just doing what you want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. And it's like when you clash heads with a parent or something.
Yeah.
Like we was butting heads. And so it came to a point where I really had to choose. Like, all right, God, either I'm gonna rock with you for real.
Right.
No matter what the outcome, and we just gonna see where this ends up, or I'm gonna go my own way and just try to figure this thing out. And I just chose, man, because I don't have all the answers. Sometimes I don't even know for real what he doing in my life.
That's real.
But it's faith. Like I'm choosing I'm taking this gamble, this bet, God. I'm going with you.
Yeah.
And like wherever we end up, we end up there. Like I'm cool with it. And so it was a conscious decision. Like I don't think he had to force me into it, but I did think he made me have to choose a side essentially. So yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah, we gotta go into a break.
Yeah, we got a little time.
Okay.
We're trying to give honor to our producers.
So with you revamping, changing the name, doing all the things that you did, what does like the next season of In God I Flex look like? Like what is that to look completely different from how it was before to now? Like with you being spiritually rejuvenated, charged, now you know what I'm saying, putting it all in God's hand. What does that look like now? Yeah, so it's a whole new thing. So everything is structured out now differently. So this is gonna lead into 2 announcements I want to make. So to start that off, I had to keep this in mind. There are 5 buckets in life, right? 5 buckets in life, and you have to follow these buckets in this order. The first one is knowledge. So you go out, you learn, right? Yeah. Then there's applied knowledge, which makes the second bucket, which is your skill set. So there's knowledge, there's your skill set, and then what you do with those skills is what makes you valuable to your network, right? So that third bucket is your network, all right? Then your network, which makes you valuable, you're around more people who have more resources. That's that fourth bucket, is the resources. So now you have people who have funds, people who have businesses you can barter. And then that leads, you discipline all these 4 buckets leads to you having the 5th one, which is your reputation. All right, so those are the 5 buckets: knowledge, skills, network, resources, reputation. And so as a result, I've been able to fill these buckets in an order that has helped me develop a reputation for people to trust me, and now I can teach people, and now we can do business together. And a lot of times we fall into this trap of filling one bucket out of order. We might chase the bag, and so now we only getting resources, but we might not have the knowledge. All right, or now we chasing relationships, so we got the network, but we don't have no value to bring to the network. And so fill those buckets in order, and each one as it overflows goes into the next one. Yeah. And so that knowledge gonna go into the skill set. Skill set gonna increase your network. Your network gonna give you more resources. Resources lead to your reputation. So as a result, this year I've been intentional about teaching and giving back and building. And so I created a platform essentially called IGIF Studios. And so through that we do music, we do commercials, we're gonna be doing movies, we're gonna be doing a whole facet of things. A whole facet of things. And so I'm back doing music now. So I'm doing that through IGIF Studios. So it's exciting. And so today I definitely did want to announce the two brands we're going to be signing first. We're going to do a total of 4. And so I haven't found the last 2 brands we're going to sign yet, but the first 2 we've solidified today. And so I don't know if I can say that now or...
I mean, go ahead.
You better drop it.
So,
I don't even know.
So the first brand we're going to do is about my boy Glory Apparel. And so that's the first brand. First brand in the house. And then the second brand, I'm really excited about this too. My boy Dez with Kingdom.
Oh!
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
It's gonna be lit. We cooking.
So, can I ask? Nah, we gotta go. I'm sorry. Finish.
Nah, I just said we cooking. That's the main thing I wanted to say. We cooking. Yes.
So, can I ask a question?
Nah, we gotta go.
Oh, we're done. I didn't know we were.
We coming right back. We gonna run off on a break. We come right back. Yeah. We gonna run off on a break. We come right back. All right, yo. Listen, flowradioshow.com. You know the vibes. We live. We certified. We got more with CJ King when we come back. So keep it locked. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Mad Legacy the Prince.
I am Queen Lee.
What up?
Yo, it's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, flowradioshow.com. You know the vibes. We live. We certified, man. If you just now tuning in with us, man, we got CJ King in the building.
Yes, sir.
Within God, I flex, man. So you just dropped a crazy bomb on us about the
recruited my
brand.
man.
You know what I'm saying? If you just now tuning in, just drop that on them real quick, man. Let them know what's popping.
Yeah, so the IGIF Studios, man, we've signed our first two brands, man. We got Glory Apparel and Kingdom Clothing.
In the building.
Yes, sir.
My boy Dez, he here right now.
Yeah.
he here?
Okay.
He about to start rubbing the hand.
Dez,
That's Freddie, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Bro, what's wrong?
My bad.
For real, babe. How does
that man
that
is
feel?
blushing, bro.
Nah, it's I think it's so real. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like one of those things where like, okay, God, he see me, you know, just kind of starting this thing just out of obedience. You know, when he first told me to start making clothes, he was like, you know, don't worry about the money behind it. You know what I'm saying? Just do what I'm telling you to do, and I'll send the flood. You know,
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
I feel like, this is crazy. And just to see it, like, you know, last year was like our first full year. And then this next, like, we still in January, and now to see what he's about to do, it's like, it's scary, but it's like, okay, like you hear me in my secret place, you know what I'm saying? You hear me.
So what does being signed to your brand or the studio, what does that consist of as far as for like other businesses?
Yeah, so now those 5 buckets I mentioned, now essentially you have access to all 5 of those buckets.
Through
knowledge.
Okay.
So the studios, the knowledge, the commercials, the skill set, the resources, relationships. So everything that comes with that, you now have access to that. So the things I had to go through, the loopholes, the figuring stuff out, the blockades from people trying to drop game, like now you don't have to worry about that.
And I think that's one of the key elements that the game overall, like whether it's on Christian side or the secular side, as we would call it, like the game, or not even, let me say game, but life overall, people don't understand how much beneficial it is when you like team up like that to be able to pour into the next, you know, as we would say, the next squad or the next generation. Like we always think when you get it, like keep it to yourself. Like I learned that I'm seeing that actively in the game of comedy. Bro, these comics are selfish, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's the most selfish thing in the world.
Wow.
And I was just like, yo, I was praying one day and I was like, yo, God, how can I change the game of comedy? Like, I can't change comedy as a whole, but how do I change the game of comedy?
Yeah.
And then I ended up launching the Comedy Coalition. So it's a group of like 12 comics who come together on Wednesdays and we helping each other. Like, you've been in the game for 10 years. You've been in the game 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm just starting. How can we help? Iron sharpen iron, and I think that's
needed. And I'm tired
biblical. Please, it's biblical.
It's biblical, man. I'm just tired of Christians being broke too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just tired of Christians being broke.
Trying to sound flow.
I'm tired of just telling people we gonna pray for you and not being able to do nothing for them. And so that's the goal. We want to be able to give back and be the church.
I heard a saying that says you can go fast alone, but you go further together.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful.
Yeah,
to know
but
that.
if all y'all together and broke, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, true. You know what I'm saying?
So CJ, so what about Glory Apparel and Kingdom Clothing made you be like, okay, because I would love to have y'all.
Yeah, so a part of it was like the brand itself and the messaging, but beyond that, it was the heart. Like speaking on Glow, I've done ministry with, like, we've been in the same circles for years. Like when I was doing Christian hip hop, like as a teenager, we was doing shows together. You know what I'm saying? So like I seen the work. I seen what he been doing. Like someone saw me and like put me on this stuff. So, and then with Dez, it's the heart. Like just talking to him, I don't even remember what our first conversation was, but talking, I was like, oh yeah, like, bro, I want to see you win. Like I want to see God do some major things through you. And his story is crazy. Like maybe one day he'll share it, but like his story is crazy. So like the things he gonna do is gonna be crazy. And so Yeah, this was meant to be, because I was really tired today, and I had to push to get here, and now I'm glad I came, because I'm like, this needed to be done. Something told me like.
And I think that it kept trying to be like, I feel like the enemy kept trying to push it back too.
Working,
this interview was supposed to happen.
2 months ago?
December, and then we had to push it back, and then it was just like it was a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just like a thing that just keep on having to be pushed back. Stuff keep on getting in the forefront. Then we have our mandatory stuff that we do on certain Thursdays and stuff that push. So it was just like a whole lot.
Yeah. But we here, we made it.
Yeah, definitely,
I can see Dez now like showing like his video picture, like him work at his 9 to 5 right now in slow motion throwing the stuff. Like, yeah. And speaking over his thing, I remember when I had to.
That's facts.
Yeah, like I can
For
see it
real,
now, bro. Like
it's kind of like I was telling God that the other day, and it's kind of like, of course I want to give you my all, but a lot of my time is tied up into the 9 to 5, and it's like it's hard for me to give you everything I have when it's like, okay, I be in the zone, but then it's like, dang, what time is it? I gotta go to sleep. I gotta hurry up, and you know what I'm saying? I got orders that I gotta fulfill, blah blah blah. So it's like, it's tough, and I had to remind myself that, like, don't get so, because sometimes I can get in this work mode where it's like work, but then it's kind of like you can't expand the king without plugging into the king, like you can't expand the kingdom without talking to the king. You know what I'm saying? So I have to prioritize like spending time with him, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought like, all right, stuff ain't moving because like, all right, my design suck, or it's like this, like don't nobody want that no more, or whatever like that. It's more so it's like, okay, when the last time you really had an intimate conversation with him? You know what I'm saying? Because when it was like I was having like full heart to hearts with God, it was like I would make 1 or 2 sweatshirts and people like, I need that by tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you really plug in with him, like he's outside of time, so your time, it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
he got the ability to make it happen.
So this is a question for both of y'all, right? In a world that's driven by like instant gratification, you know what I'm saying? Like everything everybody wants in like a microwave kind of style, right? How do you intend on teaching the people that attach to your brand patience and reliance on God? Because you know, they see the success you've had. You got the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, yo, I got the Da Vinci Code now. It's gonna take off quick. But like, how do you intend on teaching patience and reliance on God throughout the process?
Yeah. Now the crazy thing is, I don't even think I'll have to teach it, because I feel like life do a lot of teaching itself. And so the people that I've decided to walk alongside, like I've seen life already been teaching them patience. And so it's not like when they come aboard, I gotta be like, hey man, let me show you something, man. Life gonna do this. Life, like the people I'm partnering with, even beyond this, like everybody I partner with now, even from like Pastor Dunk, like, or like Pastor Scott Free from City Takers, like, yo, they done did life for real, like real life. And so teaching patience, that's something life gonna do on his own. Like God, he already taking care of that. Like my job is to teach the knowledge so you can apply the skill sets and give you the resources. But when it comes to that stuff, like I leave that in God's hands.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Good. That was everything I had.
And I would speak to that as of like a beginner. I'm learning that it's more about the process than like the destination type of thing, because I feel like God can get more through you than like training you up, than actually just kind of like, okay, you start right here and then you automatically zoom to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, say for instance we take like a t-shirt, and instead of him, you post it online, and because some people can do it, you know, it just depends. But when we doing it God's way, it's different. So like you take a t-shirt and you post it online, and now you got 700 orders, blah blah blah. Like, but for somebody that's starting off, like, what if you don't know how to mass produce, or what do you do when you get a bad batch of orders, when it's like you put all the last money that you had into these orders and they come out all sloppy and stuff like that? Like, it's certain things that he takes you through so that like the longevity of it, you know what I'm saying, withstands.
So how has it been for you, like seeing the brand multiply on such a big level. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be watching videos on like TikTok or something, and bro, you'll see somebody in the distance with a Jesus set me free joint. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, they
Everywhere
be
I
at
go,
the church wearing it, bro.
It's like sometimes it's like, nah, this ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just scrolling on TikTok the other day, and I'm just scrolling randomly, you know, and then I seen Alex Jean. He got an album dropping or a song or whatever with Cruise. Yeah, it dropped February 1st, well, which is today or whatever. And on his visual, his cover art, like, you got Alex Jean and Cruise right here, and on the next, a girl turn around and say, Jesus set me free. And I'm
with
like,
his jacket on
the album cover.
This
but I didn't think it
this
was
is on
real
their
though.
page.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. So I done scroll, refresh, went back to it. I'm like, wow, like I made that, and it's like, it's so real. And then God, like, in those moments, God takes you back to, like, you pressing those and you messing up and you got to start over and get a whole nother jacket, and you know what I'm saying. He takes you back to those moments because those are critical moments that he wants you to remember. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's gratifying to see it, but then to actually, like, to have went through it and I don't know, bro. It's kind of like,
I'm gonna say this too before you say that, and even the whole patience thing. Like, I peep a lot, and I don't say a lot. So, like, even during the whole process, even with both parties, of like when we first had the conversation that, hey, this a possibility. Like, months went by and like we ain't really talked too much about it. He could have been like, yo, hey, what's up with when we doing what? But that wasn't the case. So, like, I peep a lot of that stuff. Like, even we in the same chat with a vendor. Like, if something went wrong, I'm peeping how his conversation is going with the vendor. Like, how you treating the vendor when stuff goes south.
That's
like,
lead texting, not that's that's lead.
Hey, they're a team. So
Yeah,
look.
CJ, no, seriously, like, CJ is so honorable. Like, this man, I don't got nothing to do with Dad's clothing line, but this man's so honorable when he put us in a group chat to talk about this. And I'm just like, even though I don't have nothing to do with it, he like, listen, y'all are one, y'all are a team. I want to talk to both of y'all. I want both of y'all in here, X, Y, Z. And I love that. And then just going back to the patience thing, what I've seen in my husband, like, it literally be times where Dads will come home and he will be stressed out, like, I heard get this order, God told me to slow down. And he will do it slowly. He will make, and that's patience on a different level, because now you know you got a time slot, but God is telling you, take your time with this shirt. Take your time with this jacket, because first of all, this the last one we got. Yeah. So you gotta take your time, because if you mess this
Shop
up,
don't open up till Monday, but it's Friday night.
I watch him listen and yield to the Holy Spirit, even when he don't think certain designs. Because when he first got, he said, man, I need something better. I need something else than Jesus set me free now, because sales has slowed down. And CJ said, no, that like that's Jesus set me free is your bread and butter. Like, as soon as he seen it, he said, this is your brand. Like, seriously, like, this is what it is. This is the staple. So just watching him yield to the Holy Spirit and like listen to God, just been like amazing.
Yeah. So CJ, how are you spiritually preparing yourself to shoulder the quote unquote success? I don't want to say you're the success point for these other brands, but you are the vehicle for success for these other brands. How are you preparing yourself, like, on a spiritual level, to be able to navigate these brands through the same level of success that you've had? I'm sorry.
So I feel like it hadn't been you know how people say, like, man, an overnight success took 15 years. Yeah. Like, this preparation took 10 plus years. So he's been preparing me this whole time. I didn't know for what, but he took me through the ringers of every possible situation you can go through with a business, even from, you know, dropping $10,000, getting that in return, making a lot of money, losing a lot of money, having to fire employees, having to fire your own friends, having to hire people, having to deal with lawsuits. Like, all of these things I've had to deal with, literally every facet of the business. And now I look back in hindsight, okay, cool, God, you was teaching me how to manage all of these situations, so that others, I can actually guide them through it, so they don't have to go through some of these things. They don't have to go through lawsuits. They don't have to go through tax issues. You know what I'm saying? So he's been preparing me. It's been a long preparation, and I think now this is the most. I was telling someone yesterday, like, this is the most at peace and complete I've felt as a whole being, spiritually, financially, like relationship wise, ever in my life. And so I think it's because I've said no to a lot of things, and now I just focus on just a few specific things. I only have 3 or 4 people and brands that I work with. When there used to be 20, 30, I'm trying to help everybody.
Right.
And I was like, no, like these specific people God has called me to. This is what I'm doing.
That's
I want to
good.
ask Dez one last question because I know we gotta go. But
Sound like
what for real? What do you, and because I want CJ to be here and I want him to hear this. What do you expect in this, however long this business endeavor is? What do you expect to learn or get poured into from CJ? Like, what do you expect from that?
I mean, this is a great question for sure. Also, his analogy, like as far as like the buckets, like I want to set up my own, like learning how to manage my own buckets, like coming to him for the knowledge and the resources and different things like that, and just kind of just watching, because a lot of things are taught, but a lot of things are caught. You know what I'm saying? So just being up under him and just kind of watching how he stewards what he has, and just kind of watch, basically just being a mentee. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of just looking and observing and making sure this will kind of get me out of my shell, to where it's like I don't like asking people for stuff. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like God is like, okay, now you got somebody who's trying to show you the ropes. Now you have to open your mouth and ask, like, yo, how do you do this? How do you know what I'm saying? It's just being just teachable, coachable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping I can obtain like a lot of knowledge from them, and just different ways to do things.
One thing I want to say, because that's something I learned as a mentee. It is said it's not his job to contact you.
For sure.
It's your job to contact him. So don't. He said he opened up his door to you. You know what I'm saying? So don't hesitate or feel like it's too much. Because that's another thing we can do. We could like, I don't want to keep bothering him. It's there for you to bother him. And when if he can't talk right now, he just ain't gonna pick up the phone, but he'll probably call you back later tomorrow, whatever the case scenario. So don't
be saying that. Hey, hit my line.
No, for sure.
Hit him up.
This man just came on air and openly said, "I'm signing you for you to don't go back and think that like, oh, I can't text him.
Yeah.
I can't call him like."
Nah, for sure.
Because we got this video for reference that we can take him to court.
Hey, look, you need one.
I told CJ hit me up whenever. He hit me up on stage. You know?
That's crazy.
He was like, hey,
no, he called me. He said, "Hey, you wait to see fit? Hey, can you text me legacy number?"
Yeah, because I was hitting up an old number. Someone was like, I don't know who this is.
Oh, that's crazy.
You on stage.
I see you. See me. See you.
Sorry,
Yo, who I said, no, you're right. I might have the wrong number.
Oh man. So CJ, you asked us a question earlier. To close our eyes and where do we see ourselves in the next 10 years? Where do you see your brand, the studio, going in the next 10 years?
So if you go back to my IG page, I already have a mock-up of the building that we're gonna have. So it's a building downtown, glass structure. The inside has a real modern look. So we got IGIF on the wall. You're able to see it like in Atlanta, in the city. It's like one of the skyscrapers. So not like super high, but it's one of the buildings, big letters. And so I already have the mock-ups, the concepts of what it looks like. I know what the lobby looks like. And so it has a big screen in the lobby with all the different brands, all the different commercials being shot.
Bro, I'm not dreaming big enough.
Bro, let me help you design. Help you connect some of those screens, bro.
Hey, no, for real. Look, for real. It was I'll say this real quick. It was funny. I was in the mall, had my kiosk, and it was it's on my
business page.
and got our flex page, I believe.
Oh dang. Yeah, keep talking.
It's all good. Don't panic. Hey, so it was I had my store I had my store in the mall, and I had the kiosk, and it was this older white guy was walking by, and he's not my target audience, so I didn't really say nothing to him. He came up to me, and he apparently has a huge marketing company. And all right, so real quick, that's what the lobby area looks like.
That's dope.
Yeah. So you'll see the sky view, so you can like see out of the city.
That's hard, bro.
And then there's another one where it actually shows the building. Let me see. Wait, click on that video right there.
This one?
Nah,
the
I
next
say
one.
IGIF.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
So it should show. It's not gonna show the whole thing. So that's it. But there's another one that actually shows what the outside of the building is gonna look like. And so
I was just praying, babe, over y'all
right,
in
it might
here
not be
about
on
the
there,
dreaming with God. I was like, let every brand in this building dream.
Oh, this
big
one
with
here?
you.
nah, it's not
So
on there. I
you
had
gotta
it in my
dream big,
stories.
babe.
That's what it was.
My fault.
So nah, it was in my stories. It's not there. But it was an older white guy. He stopped me. He said, "Man, what's this brand about?" So I was talking to him. He said, "Look, if you're interested in knowing how to market your brand, like shoot me an email." And I don't know who this man is. His name is Wallace Long, and has a huge company. Makes a ton of money. And so he said, "Yo, we can have a meeting." And we met at this coffee spot. And he actually told me, "Yo, you're not dreaming big enough." Because I told him what my goals were, and he was like, "Yo, you're not dreaming big enough. You thinking about a few kiosks. You thinking about a few stores. Now you need to be dreaming way bigger." And so he's the one that challenged me, "Yo, how far out can you dream? Like, what can you do?" So
I actually didn't know I was scared to dream until I met her.
What was his name?
shut up. I saw you too. I was trying not to look
Bro,
at you too.
both of them, they are annoying.
I was trying not to look at her too.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, we're gonna have their pictures in the lobby. Say, "Keep out."
I'm telling you. What I do? What? Really just get his laugh out. He really finally can get his laugh out.
His name was what?
Yeah, he chill.
All right,
Keep going, bro. Stop
CJ.
playing.
Let them know where they
That's
can find you, man. Follow you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my personal page where I talk about marketing and everything is CJ King Official, and then my business page is NGuy.flex brand. Yep.
And don't forget the music, man. You know, tell them
Oh yeah. We back to doing the music. I'm dropping the single every week in February. So.
My God.
So I'll send y'all the music. Maybe they'll play it for the people. I don't know. We'll see.
What's
Yeah,
up,
send
man?
us.
You
We're
got
going to do
something
my
else?
humble opinion. We're going to do my humble opinion.
All
on
right,
it.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Say
we'll
less.
do that for
Say
sure.
less.
Oh man, what advice can you give to anybody who is afraid? Last question for sure. My fault, man. I gotta get this one out.
We have to go. boys.
What advice would you give to someone who feels like, you know, God called them to start a business, or they have a vision for something that they feel like God called them to do, but that fear aspect, like we spoke about earlier, is kind of holding them paralyzed? Like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would say start small, right? So start small. What's the smallest thing you can do that you've been hesitating on? Like, for instance, man, I've been wanting to work out and I just ain't been able to go to the gym, or I haven't been going to the gym. Can you just in 5 seconds go ahead and do 5 push-ups? Start with 5. Boom. Like, it's just start. All right, cool. I've been wanting to start reading, but I don't have time, man. I find myself scrolling. Yo, just read 1 page and call it done. And you did that. That's it. Read that 1 page and call it a win. So celebrate the small wins. Don't focus on the big, I ain't read a book last week. Did you read a couple pages? Just start with a few pages. And so I would say that, and the next thing I would say, just remember, like, you're not stuck with that version of yourself. You can always leave.
That's good.
How do you measure? Last question. I promise. How do you measure your success? Like, is it only based off of like the money you making? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's like you feel like God called you to do something, but the money's not flowing like that. How do you gauge success?
Yeah.
Last question. I promise.
Success. That's a personal question for each individual to answer. I think it comes down to. I think money is at the bottom of the barrel of what you should be using to gauge it. I think it comes down to your soul. What's your soul happy with? I know a lot of very rich people who are very unhappy and depressed. So what's your soul feeling like? Has God filled that well in your soul, right? That's success. If you come home and your kids are healthy, your wife is happy, your husband is happy, your whatever the case, like, that's success, right? The daily, like, so I'm gonna say this. The people you have in your life right now who love you and genuinely care for you, you're not gonna always have them. Like, those moments don't come twice. If you can spend moments with them and feel happy and loved and feel cared for, that's success, right? Because the moment, you wouldn't trade any of the monetary things, the money, the cars, the clothes, the houses. You wouldn't trade any of that I mean, you would trade it all for more time with somebody who you loved who's gone.
Yeah.
So the success is the time you get to spend. I successfully was loved. I successfully cared for someone. I successfully was cared for. That's what success is to me. So
That's good.
Absolutely, man. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. CJ King, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tap in with the In God I Flex brand and also tap in with my bro Dez, man. I'm proud of you, man. Really proud of you, bro. Like, for real, man.
Say it in the mic. We can hear you.
Nah, I appreciate.
I'm proud of you. Bro, why you get so awkward when somebody try to give you love, bro?
He's playing over there.
Yo, just cut this out. Click back. CJ King, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, bro, listen, man. It's a revolving door, bro.
yeah.
It's always open,
Anytime,
man.
bro.
So
We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
I got to
man.
bring some merch up here.
Yeah, please, one. And
You got
bring your other people. Like, Dennis, bring your other people. If
Somebody
you-
like Glow?
You can get Glow to answer the phone. You just
Oh,
bring
yeah,
him up here.
for sure, for sure.
Clip it.
For sure.
Hey, man, that man still don't answer. He doing ministry full time. All right, I'm sure. Too far? All right.
All right, we love y'all.
Love y'all. Well, that man don't answer. Jesus.